Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it is time for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 171. Happy anniversary! That's right, this is our anniversary sale YouTube. And for those of you who have been following us for a while, you know this is the YouTube that we give away 100 prizes for our YouTube and Facebook followers. Yes, 100 different prizes, some of them upwards of $200, big shot machines. So how this all happens is that we take prizes that people haven't claimed in the past and we gather all of those up. And if we've received an email from you, if you've won a prize and we've got your email and we've sent you back an email, don't worry, we'll get your prize to you. But you'd be surprised how many people don't claim their prize. And so we gather all of those up from 2015, so not 2016, and then we add a few more prizes, and thankfully a few manufacturers throw in a few things, and we have 100 prizes to give away. It is always so much fun to post that list. Now, oh my gosh, I've got so much to share with you. We have Stampendous in the store. Fran, the owner of Stampendous, is back for her third year here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, hosting part of our anniversary sale. She's downstairs and she's demoing and frantaging and Stampendousing everything. We have a free make and take in the back that I'm hosting, so I'm really not here right now. I'm actually out there. The magic of TV. So I'm doing the main make and take that's in our store. So we've got 18 great gals sitting down every half an hour or so doing a wonderful free Stampendous make and take. And then we have another make and take in our store where we sit 12 other great gals and they're doing do crafts. And about every 15 minutes I give a prize away in the retail store. But you all can't be here. Some of you live half a world away. So we do the 100 prizes for those of you who can't be here for our anniversary sale. And it's so easy. You just have to post a comment here on YouTube or on Facebook, because this YouTube will be posted on Facebook too. And if you post a comment in both places, well, then you have double the chance of your name being picked. One prize per winner, and you get what you get. Like I said, we have things that are $10 and $15, and we have things that are, we have big shot machines. We have goodies that we have sets of pins that are $200. We have amazing things for you. So good luck to all of you. This YouTube, I'm going to be focusing on Stampendous product. They have the most beautiful new stamp and die sets, and during the anniversary sale, all Stampendous is 25% off, even this newest product. Yes, 25% off. We're the very, very first in the country to have it. I don't know that you will have seen it anywhere yet. I'm very, very excited. So I'm going to be YouTubing that today, and I'm going to be doing something that I'm going to start off easy peasy, but then I'm going to ask you to step out of your box a little bit if you're in a box or if you think you have a box, and I'm going to ask you to try something new. I have a tool that I think is probably very underutilized. You may already have this and don't have a clue how to use it. And I want to show you. It's not an expensive tool. If you don't have it, it's $7.50 and then 25% off. So it's not even an expensive tool. But when you see what you can do with it and how it can change your creativity, I think you're going to love it. But like I said, I'm going to start off easy peasy, and we're going to start with some of the dies and stamp sets from Stampendous. And then I'm going to move into that tool. So I've got lots to show you, but first we've got Winner Winner Chicken Dinner from the last YouTube, which was my last collection of dies and stamps, my Simply Defined collection called Christmas Carols. And I've got two winners because they posted nice comments. I love some of them. Some of them posted, "My nice comment for today is..." That makes me happy. So if you hear your name, congratulations. You are the latest SMS Winner Winner Chicken Dinner peep. And you're going to get, well, you're going to get, it looks like you're going to get a thermal web deco foil, some Stampendous micro glitter, and one of my dies. Congratulations, that's a nice little prize package. Are you ready to hear if it's you? Well, if your name is Noel, well, how perfect is that for Christmas carols? Hello? Noel Herzig. Noel Herzig, congratulations. You're an SMS winner chicken dinner from YouTube number 170. And if you are Eileen Chalmers, oh, my grandma lived on Chalmers Street in Los Angeles. If you're Eileen Chalmers, congratulations. You too are a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. And what do you have to do to claim your prizes? You have to email us at winner, WINNER, at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Tell us you're the winner from YouTube number 170. You'll get an email back confirming that we've got your email, your prize is assigned to you. No problem. Just know prizes are sent as time permits. So give us a little time. We're working on orders first, and then as Dale has time, she tries to do maybe 2 a day. She tries to get out prizes, but we've got all the Facebook prizes and the YouTube prizes. So hang tight, know that it's coming, and congratulations. And then this is the YouTube of 100 winners. How exciting is that? Now, like I said, I think I'm going to start relatively easy peasy, and many of you may already know what I'm going to show you, but I just didn't want to jump right into it. But I am going to ask you to try. I'm going to ask you to try. We're going to be using a tool called the Picasso tool. And when you see it, you may instantly say, that is so not for me. But try it. It might be exactly for you. So I'm going to show you how to use it to the best of my ability. I certainly cannot hold a stick to Fran. That woman is amazing, but we're gonna have fun today, and we're gonna make this a really enjoyable YouTube. And happy anniversary to Scrapbooking Made Simple. Yes, the sale is going on right now, 25% off of all Stampendous. We've got doorbusters. Oh my gosh, we've got the YouTube Yummies. There's some really great things going on. So if you get the chance, go visit our website at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. But for now, let's tilt on down and let's get started for today. It's good to see you. Down we go. All right, so how pretty is this? Is that not absolutely gorgeous? This is one of the new stamp and die sets from Stampendous. Is that not just absolutely lovely? Look at it's all popped up and popped out. This is a new set from Stampendous. They just released it. Actually, I think it hasn't quite released yet, so shh. See it here first. It is absolutely gorgeous, and we are going to play with this today. I'm going to start with the stamps. And this is what they look like. They're called jumbo stamps from Stampendous. This whole set is $11.99. And then 25% off. They are cling stamps. And what that means is that you don't need that thick wood block anymore. Stamp companies have really gotten away from that wood block stamp because they're just bulky and they're hard to store, and they cost more because of the wood. And most stamp companies have gone into a cling stamp. Now, it is still rubber on the back. You're not giving up any of that rubber, that detail and that etching that you can get with a rubber stamp. You're just giving up the bulk of the actual size of the stamp. Now, this has got a cling foam on top of it, which means that when I use it with a block, it clings right to it, and then it comes off, and then it'll cling right to it, and then it'll come off, and then it'll cling right to it, so you can use it again and again and again. If for some reason it stops clinging, chances are, like mine, my Tim Holtz grid block here is a little dirty, or perhaps my stamp is dirty on the cling side. It may have embossing powder or my oils from my hands. I'm gonna tell you, super simple. Dawn dishwashing detergent, a baby wipe, Palmolive, whatever you've got that's just gentle and easy. Clean everything off, let it dry, and you're gonna be right back in business again. Now, some of the jumbo stamps are a little bit large. I'll show you this one a little bit later. Some of the jumbo stamps are a little bit larger. I mean, that's a nice big size stamp. And yes, Tim Holtz does have in his grid blocks, they do have, it comes with 8 or 9 grid blocks, and the biggest ones will absolutely, you could absolutely use that stamp on it. But what if you're not such a big stamper? What if you only have a few stamps and you just happen to love that set, but you don't want to buy a huge block because blocks can be expensive? Do you own a Sizzix Big Shot machine? Do you own a Cuttlebug? Do you own anything that has acrylic plates? Because presto, you've now got yourself a block. That means that if I pulled out my big lilac, it would fit right onto my clear cutting plate from Sizzix, and I have made myself a block. For the big ones, that's awesome. When you get down into some of the smaller size stamps, sometimes that's a little hard because using such a big block, because it can rock and wobble. But my goodness gracious, if you've got yourself a Sizzix machine, a Big Shot machine, a Big Kick machine, a Vagabond machine, whichever one you've got, and you've got clear plates, you've got colored plates, doesn't make a difference. They're all gonna stick just fine, and you have made yourself a stamping block. Or if you love the Tim Holtz grid blocks, you absolutely can buy those too. But I'll tell you, the Tim Holtz grid blocks, and we sell them, don't get me wrong, I love them, I sell them, I endorse them, I think they're great. They're $21.95 a set. You could have both sets of stamps for that price. So if there's a way for you to make your own block, make your own block, because you can't make the stamps. And you could have both sets. You could have all of this. They're $11.99 each. So even if you had to pay full price, if they weren't on sale, you're still only talking $24. That's only $2 less than buying a full set of Tim Holtz grid blocks. Now, if you stamp a lot and you need blocks, then this is the set that we absolutely recommend. But if you can get away with it, wouldn't you rather have the stamps instead? I would. The nice thing about the blocks, though, is that once you buy them, you never have to buy them again. So I'm going to start with the sunflower because I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to stamp it onto some of my 100-pound white paper. So I've got my Simply Defined 100-pound white cardstock. It's smooth on both sides, and it takes water very, very well. I've got half of my gush mat. This is the Simply Refined gush mat. It's double this size. Remember that it is $1.99. We cut it in half, and then we actually cut it in fourths so that we've got different sizes. And the reason why we did the mat is we were selling the really big one, but we had to cut it in half to ship it to you. Now our mat just fits right into a flat rate shipping envelope, easy peasy, no cutting. If you choose to cut it, then it's up to you, and we always cut ours. So I've got my 100-pound paper. You can use 80-pound paper. You just want a nice smooth paper. I've got my Tim Holtz grid block or my alternate cutting plate. You know, I'm gonna tell you, Sizzix is now selling these in singles. I think they're $6.99 a single. We have them in singles. That's the cheapest block for this size that I have ever seen in my life. Even if you never use it as a cutting plate. That I think there's $6.99 for a single, $10.99 if you wanted 2 of them. But why would you need 2 if you want just a really large block to be able to stamp with? Oh, I'm probably not making friends right now. But honest to goodness, why wouldn't you just buy that if you needed a big block? Blocks can be expensive. Yeah, because they sell them in singles now. I'm going to have to think about that one. Yeah, that just came to me. All right, I have got my Memento ink. This is our ink of choice here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. It is a dye-based ink. That means it is not a chalk-based ink. It's a dye-based ink. So it absorbs into your paper really, really well. It dries relatively quickly. You can't throw embossing powder on top of it, but the Memento ink, specifically the Memento ink, does not move with water. If you were using several of the other dye-based inks and you got them wet, they're meant to move with water, and then you have a little bit of, you got some mud going on. Memento is not. That's why everybody who does alcohol markers like Copics, they love the Memento because it does not move and smear. I am going to ink up my stamp. Now, some people think you need to ink. That's a lot of ink. You really just need to tap it a few times. Make sure you've got good coverage. That's all covered. And then you're going to stamp. I'm going to tell you, when you get your stamp out of the package for the first time, you're going to want to stamp it a few times just to get any residue that was on it from the packaging off. But after you do that, you're going to get a lovely stamp. Now I'm on my gush pad. I've got my white paper down, and I'm just going to give a press. I am not going to do chest compressions. I'm not going to stand on top of it. I'm just going to give a press. You don't have to press too hard. First off, you're on a gush pad. That means that as you're pressing down, that stamp is kind of sinking down into that paper and making better contact. If you say you're a bad stamper and you're stamping on a hard surface, I bet that's why you say you're a bad stamper. Then I'm going to pull on up, and I have got a perfect image. You did not see me do stamp, stamp. You didn't see me press, 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 press. Easy peasy. Let's do it one more time, just so you can see that it doesn't need a tremendous amount of ink. So this time, I'm just going to ink it up one, go all the way across. I've got ink all the way across. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to give a nice push, but I'm not going to step on it. Not going to put all my weight on it. You don't have to do that anymore. Because you're not working with that wood block anymore, you don't have to push so hard to get the pressure through the wood block onto the cling or onto the rubber stamp. And then I'm going to pull up, and again, perfect impression. It also has to do with something with the stamps, because these stamps are really good stamps. But easy to do. And now that I've got my stamped image, I want to color. And today I'm going to be working with watercolor pencils. I chose watercolor pencils because for the majority of people, it is the easiest way to color and get a look that they're very, very happy with. Now, we sell watercolor pencils here in the store. Do we sell the best brand on the market? No, we don't. These are $13.99, and then they're 25% off. Do these do the job? Yes. If you are attending Cal Arts or some fabulous art school and you pull these out, are you going to be in love with them? Probably not. But if you're like me, a typical crafter, just a regular crafter who wants lovely results every time without spending a fortune, then the brand we have, it's the Essentials. It's a great little brand. It does the job. I'm very, very happy with them. We've carried them for years and years and years. Yes, you can absolutely spend more on watercolor pencils. That is up to you, and if you would like to do that. There's 24 pencils in here. That means that I can blend to almost any color I want. I don't necessarily think I need 96 colors of watercolor pencil. If we were talking about just straight coloring pencils that don't blend, then you would want 96 colors. But when you have the availability to take these and blend these into a new color, why would you need more than that? In my opinion, and that's my humble opinion. So I'm going to pull one out, and let's start with the yellow. I guess I'm going to do yellows and oranges because I've got my sunflower here. Now with watercolor, the first thing most people do is they use too much water and they don't leave any white space. What do you mean by that, Stacy? Well, I'm going to show you. First off, I've got my pencil, and I am going to scribble, scribble, scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble. That's all I've done. Then I'm going to take my inexpensive paintbrush. You don't want, I think we sell these for like $5.99 and you get like 6 of them. Or 5 different tips. They're all pointy. I like them because they're all pointy. You don't need the best water or paintbrushes on the market. You don't want the least expensive. You don't want the 49-cent ones either because the bristles will come out. But again, we've got a lovely brand here that works really well and will do what you want it to do. Now I went scribble, 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 and I added a little water to my paintbrush. You've seen me do this a couple times. That's me just taking off the excess water from my paintbrush. You know, using watercolor is kind of like cooking. You can always add more to the pot if you need more garlic, but once you've put too much garlic in, it's really hard to get it back out. Or once you've got too much salt in there, I know, you can put a potato in your pot, I know, but let's just go with my analogy for now, okay? I used that analogy before, and I got, just put a potato in your pot, it'll pull the salt out. But what if you're making potatoes? So anyway, if you have too much salt in your pot while you're cooking, it's hard to get the salt out. If you use too much water to begin with, it's hard to pull that water out. If you start light with your water, you can always add water. So I've got a little bit of water on my paintbrush, and instantly, as I add the water, it's turned it into a paint. Now I want to pull that paint out to the very end of my sunflower. So I have now got a shadow, a midtone, and a highlight in all of 3 seconds. Literally 3 seconds. Easy to do. That's what I mean when I say people don't leave any white. They will color. They'll color the entire petal orange, but then there's no place for that paint to move to. You need it to move. If it doesn't move, it's just gonna look like a solid color of orange. And you want definition, right? You want definition. So a little bit of water, and then you'll notice I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm wiping it off on my hand just because I want to take a little bit less of that water so I can move it and have my highlight and my low. And just like that, I am creating my sunflower. Watercolor pencils are everybody's friends. They're not messy, they're not expensive, they're not hard to work with. They make you feel accomplished all the time. There's never a time where I've used my watercolor pencils and I'm like, oh, I don't think I like that very much. That's never ever happened. But let's say you want to add more than one color. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of orange just down at the bottom, and I'm a scribble. I mean, I'm not like, I'm just getting my color in there. Can you see I added a little bit there? Then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow at the top. Can you see how I've added a little bit of orange and a little bit of yellow? Now I'm going to play with those colors. I'm going to keep my paintbrush, don't want it too wet. I'm going to pull a little bit of the orange. Just a little bit, I didn't pull a lot. When I say pull, I mean bring it out, wick it out. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of water on my yellow, and I'm gonna bring that down to meet my orange, and I'm going to have the two meet together. And now I've added a little bit of yellow to my orange to give another, just to add a little more color. It's not just the straight orange going from dark to mid-tone to highlight. Now I've added a little more color to it. I could go into a brown. Let's grab a brown. Oh, let's add a dark brown maybe. And I could have my brown down here. And maybe a little bit of orange up here. See how much white space I'm leaving? See how much white space is in there? You've got to have room for that paint to move. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my brown and pull that brown out. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of my orange and pull that orange into the brown and just blend them. What do we think? I think you can do this. I think this is so easy and so fulfilling because it doesn't take long. You get an opportunity to really play with colors. I'm going to add a little more yellow and very little orange. So on this one, I've done almost all yellow and very, very little orange. Get my water, pull my orange out first. Get my water, bring my yellow down. Can you see it? It's just got a hair bit of orange into yellow. Just a hair. Now, the important thing to know about watercolor pencils, as I showed you, they blend. You can, let's see if I can get a couple different colors so that you can really see, the blend. Oh, I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors. So I could scribble, 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 and then scribble a little here, and then maybe just a hair bit there. Take my water and make it right into paint. And I could blend those colors. Right into each other. So pretty. It's just paper. It's only paper and some water and some pencils. Get them out. Try them. Just get a big piece of inexpensive cardstock, white cardstock, and just start playing with your colors. And you'll see just how easy and just how successful you can be doing this. And you can be doing it in front of your TV, and your kids can be doing it, because it really doesn't take a lot. And if you really don't want to use the water with your kids, if that's an issue, if you're worried about that, well, get a baby wipe. You can absolutely keep your brush wet by using a baby wipe. It will do the same. And that way you're eliminating the water, so you don't have to worry about it spilling, and it will work the same. Now, if you're doing big areas, the baby wipe, not as good. But if you're just having them color in, go ahead and do it. Give them a baby wipe and let them play with the paintbrush and the watercolor pencils. You can sharpen them with a regular sharpener. Doesn't need anything special in there. And you can just have fun. So this is one of the new sets by Stampendous. But it doesn't just have, maybe I'm gonna do this one, orange. And then maybe a very light brown around it. So I just scribbled. Not very pretty, I know. But that's the beauty of watercolor. And then I'm just gonna blend. So I've got a little bit of brown, a little bit of orange. and it's colored. Easy. So what can't you do with watercolor pencils? Because sometimes that's more important than what you can do. While the paper is still wet, let's while the paper is still wet, it is not ideal to try to add color. So my paper is still wet. It's not ideal to try to add color. What happens is you end up scratching. The color doesn't go down and you end up scratching. You have to wait until your paper is dry before you can go back in and add a little more color. Like on this one. This is dry now, so I could go back in and add a little more color and a little more water and pull it back out. You also don't take your watercolor pencil and put it directly into your water. What happens is that it'll write, but when you go to blend, it can be very hard to blend those lines out. So you don't want to do that. You just want to, and if you do get them wet, just give it a little time. It'll dry. Give it a few minutes, it'll dry, and then you can come back to it and use it again. Or pick a different shade of orange. You've got 24 colors here. Are these the same? Oh, probably the two same. And, oop, lots of water, too much water. And go. So that's using watercolor pencils, which, again, if you're not a big colorer, but you love to stamp and you want to be able to color them in, but you want to be able to do it in an efficient, timely manner, you want to get to it and get it done, because that's the type of girl I am. I have a hard time when a project lasts forever. I need to get in there, get it done. I need a start, a middle, and an end. So the first time I played with watercolor pencils a long time ago, I was like, oh, it was just the most amazing thing ever to me. Now, Stampendous has made dies to go with these sets. Of course they have. And we have them. Simple frame dies that are going to allow you to, once you've colored in, die cut that pretty sunflower right out. Now, agreed, you could absolutely get in there and put some glitter in there. You could stamp this with pigment ink and throw gold embossing powder over the top of it and heat it. You could use black detail embossing powder or copper so that your lines are raised. Yes, you have the option to take it as far to fabulous as you want, or you can keep it as simple and fabulous as you want. The options are yours, and wait till you see the samples that Stampendous sent. They are amazing. But the first thing I want to do is I want to cut them out. So I'm going to bring over my Big Shot machine. And somebody had asked in the last YouTube, one of the questions was about this mat here. This is a Simply Refined mat. This is my mat. I manufactured this out of a want. I needed to have a mat that did not twist and shift with the wind as I was doing things. I needed it to stay put, so when I put my Big Shot machine on it, it wouldn't go. So there wasn't one already on the market, so I had to have one manufactured. And so we did, and it's under my Simply Refined brand. No, there is no sticky on the bottom. It's a silicone bottom allowing it to not slip and skid, but it's a non-stick on top. And yes, you can use it with your heat tool, and yes, you can use it with a glue gun, absolutely. So I've brought my Big Shot machine over. And today I'm going to be using my magnetic platform. This platform does not come with the machine. However, the platform that does come with the machine will work just fine. Keep your multi-purpose platform that comes with your machine completely closed. I'm working with the magnetic platform because I'm using a stamp. A stamped image that I want to die cut out perfectly. So I'm able to then take my die and line it up exactly where I want it to be. And because I am on a magnetic platform, it's not going to move. Now, if you've got a standard platform, just take some washi tape or a post-it note and post it down so it doesn't accidentally slide after you've put it through the machine. You don't want to have spent all that time coloring it and then die cut it and it not be exactly the way it's supposed to be. And yes, I stamp and color first, die cut last. That way if I go out the edges, if I decide that I want to take my color and for some reason I go out the edges because I want it to even fade out even more, and I want to add a lot of water to it so I get that really great fade. It doesn't matter that I went outside the edges because I'm just going to cut that right off. Of course, now I have to reline myself up. Am I there? Yes. Okay. So let's reline me on up. I have got my magnetic platform. I have got my cut plate down, not my do not cut plate, because I'm going to cut into this. If I had my do not cut plate down first, I would have to do this, and then you're losing the whole point of the magnetic platform because you can't see what you're cutting. So when you're using your magnetic platform, you're going to put your cut plate down first. Oh, I think I'm just going to go. Put my do not cut plate on the top. Send it through. This is a frame die. You only need to send it through once. It's not intricate at all. It's going to cut the very first time you send it through. And pop it out. And there it is. Isn't that so pretty? These sets, the sunflower set and the lilac set, are just beautiful and very, very easy to use, especially if you're doing watercolor. You just have to go in there, give a scribble, 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 a little bit of water, and pull that color right out. Go in there, give a scribble, 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 scribble. A little bit of yellow on top. A little bit of water. And pull that color right out. And just keep going. Fastest, easiest way to color a stamp ever. Absolutely. So that is using, like I said, their newest set with the sunflowers. But do you know what else you can do with the sunflowers? Well, if we took this and we brought this back over, and I inked it up, most of the time, people will look at a stamp like this and just see a stamp like this. But there's so much more that can be done with a stamp like this. A stamp there, and then I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp there, and then I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp there, and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp here, and I'm going to stamp here, and ink it up. Oh, I didn't stamp that one so good. And stamp down here, I'm making my own background paper. And then here. I've made my own background paper. I could then go in, although that little piece is bothering me. I'm so sorry. This is my A-type personality coming out. How about right there? There, now it's covered. It was just bothering me. Okay, but you're gonna say, Stacy, oh my gosh, now you got your gush pad all dirty. Take a baby wipe. Even if the ink's been there for a few days or a few months, take a baby wipe. It'll wipe right off. I don't know. Baby wipes are like Windex from my big fat Greek wedding. They just do everything for a crafter. They just do everything. Just take a baby wipe. But now I've got a background. I could take my Tim Holtz distress ink and distress around the background. I could take, gosh, I guess I could take my watercolor pencils and I could kind of color. Scribble, 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 right? Scribble, 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 scribble. I would prefer to have a little bit bigger brush than this. But I could go in and make it distressed and give it a watercolor look. And color all the way around my edges. Could do just about anything you wanted because you've got a blank canvas. So I could just take that and keep coloring all the way around. I've got one there. That's done with distress ink. Just made a background and just made our own background. Make your own background. You can take a single image. You can take a single image and make your own background. If you don't have a big background stamp, that's okay. You can do it with your single image. You just keep going. Super pretty. I want to go back and finish this, but I can't. I have to move on. But I want to go back and play. But I can't. I have to move on. So maybe I will give this to one of the SMS girls to go in there and finish coloring out. And we'll see what they do with it. But there's a finished one. Done with Tim Holtz Distress Ink. All with one stamp. And then of course I could take and I could just color in my, I don't want to do that to this one, it's too pretty. I could go in and I could watercolor my, just like one of them, just for the pop, just for the accent. Here it is in blue. How pretty is that? And here's a full sheet being worked on. So if you want to just sit there and do a whole sheet, so if I did this entire sheet, then I could just cut it into the sizes I need because I've got a whole background sheet ready to go. All done with a single stamp. So that's the beauty of Stampendous. They really do give you, Fran knows her business. She's been doing stamps for, gosh, I don't even want to guess how long. And she knows what works and she knows what's beautiful. And then she creates it. And she does it in a way that allows us to copy what she's done and make beautiful things too. I want to show you some of the samples of the sunflower set before I move on to the Picasso tool, because they really are absolutely gorgeous. So these were done by Stampendous for us. So we would have them for the event that's going on downstairs. I want that in my picture. There we go. How pretty is that? Lovely, isn't it? I have got lots. It just looks great on the blue, doesn't it? These are all using the same set with the vase and the leaves and the different sunflowers that can be die cut and popped. All from the same set. Then we have a couple pop-ups. That is the Stampendous pop-up. That is a die set. And it allows you to make pop-up cards. How pretty is that? Here's another pop-up. And this one, the vase. Isn't that beautiful? And then you can put your sentiment down here, but this is using a pop-up die from Stampendous. And yes, of course we have them, and yes, they're on sale. This is all using the sunflower. Oh, I've got so many. I don't know that I'll get through all of them. How cute is that? And then you could decorate the front, open it up, and surprise! Then downstairs they're playing with the frantage. Look at how fabulous it looks. We have got a set of, it's the gold frantage essentials collection, I think. And it's got the little vials of all of the beautiful golds, the embossing powders and the glitters, and oh my gosh, it's magnificent. We have it in gold and silver, and that's what they're using downstairs. I think they're using, or that's what Fran's demoing downstairs. They're using shaved ice. Look at this one. Fab, huh? It's amazing, that glitter. All right. I think this will be the last one I show you just because they're so pretty. So that's using the new Stampendous sunflower set, and I want to say it's called, it's called Sunny Vase. It's called Sunny Vase. So we have the die and the stamp bundled together at 25% off. They also have, and I will show you in a few minutes, they also have the lilac set. But before we do anything else, I want to move on to the next tool. I want to move on to the Picasso tool. And this is where some of you are going to say, oh no, this is so not for me. And this is where I'm going to ask you to just hang with me. Because when you see what this little thing does, because looking at it, you would look at it, it does look like Picasso created it because it is a little weird looking. It is a metal stencil. However, it's a tool. Most metal stencils have a design in them where you would stencil the design. This is an actual tool that you use, and you don't have to be into stencils to use this tool. What does this tool do? It gives you elements to add to your mixed media, to your cards, to your scrapbook layouts at a price that is so unbelievable. I mean, it's $7.50. It's metal. You buy it once, it's going to last you a lifetime. And all the different things that it can do is wonderful. So get to it, right? What can it do? I've talked it up enough. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the ink that we're going to be using. We're using what's called Splendor ink. This is by the same company that makes Memento. Same company. Why I like it, it's $14.99. You get a whole bunch of different colors, and because we are going to be using a stipple brush, a stencil brush, I like that you can just dip right into it. I'm going to pull out my stencil brush. So these are Dreamweaver stencil brushes. They'll be in the YouTube Yummy. I like just how easy it is because I have all my colors there, and because I'm using a brush. If I was using a dauber, I would like this. Anything where I'm dipping into, I like having all of the palette there, easy peasy, and to have 12 colors for $14.99. And of course, yes, it's on sale. It makes life very simple for me. Now, what does this tool do? Have you ever seen, let's see if I've got a sample. Have you ever seen cards where there's the most darling clouds in the background? Or hills, or I'm just really super cute. That's what this does. That made that. This tool allows you to do clouds and hills and raindrops. And if you need to do the center of a flower in a specific color, it lets you do, it's got all these different sizes so that if you had a flower, I don't think I have a pen, but if I had a flower and I wanted to just do the center in a very specific color, I can put this right over there and stencil right in. This is a tool and it's easy. Now, I don't have a stipple brush for every single color that I do. I have one in each size. I have a small, a medium, a large, and I don't care what color my stipple brush is. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it is. I wipe it off, and when it comes clean, I don't care that it's stained. There's a couple different ways of doing this. First off, you can go straight into the mat, straight into your ink, and go straight to your paper. But before you do that, you're going to want to cover up some of the holes that you don't want to use. Now I'm going to be using, to start with, I'm going to be using this right here. That's the cloud tool. But I don't want to accidentally get raindrops in my clouds yet. So I'm just going to take a piece of washi tape, a piece of Post-it note. I have Stacey tape right here, so I'm using Stacey tape. And all I'm going to do is cover those up. I cut it too close. Cover them up. And I don't want that little one up there either. There. Now if I accidentally go over, I can't get any ink into those holes. It won't stay because it's on top. So you can go directly into your pad and go directly onto your paper. And I always start off and work on. And then I can go over here and make a cloud there, and maybe I can go down here. And make a cloud there. And it just really depends upon how hard I put my pressure as to how much ink I'm gonna put on. And I could just be making clouds all day long. And if I wanted, see, clouds, instant, oh my gosh. If I wanted, I could really get some ink on my brush, start off, and then I could make some really dark clouds. And have some really darker clouds. So now you've got your butterflies that you're putting across here. You've got cute little lawn fawn that you're doing, and now you've got a cloud background for your cute little lawn fawn. It gives you everything you need. And it's just easy. And all you have to do is dip in and work off. And you twist them and you move them because it's only paper and you're making your own background. I don't know. Now, if you really want to control your color, if you really want to have control over your color, you can dip into your palette and then onto your craft mat. And then pick up from there to control how light and how dark you have. You can make really soft clouds by picking it up. Your color's really soft by picking it up from your palette, from your craft mat. And you can just keep going. It's really simple. But would you get that from something that looks like this? Would you understand that you could make super cute, fluffy clouds? Look at how cute those clouds are. They were done really lightly by picking it up off of your craft mat and then coming in. Really light touch. Really light touch. And you can see how the ink goes a really long way. I think that this tool, for what it is so underutilized because you've just created your own background. And now you can decorate. Now you can put those beautiful butterflies or hummingbirds or whatever makes your heart happy right there. Easy to do, but it does more than clouds. So if I pull off my Stacey tape, I have other options. I've got little raindrops. So what if I wanted little raindrops? I could take a little bit of Stacey tape and I'm just going to cover up a couple of the holes that I want to make sure I don't accidentally get ink into. I'm going to take, and I've got I just got a wet wipey, my baby wipe. I'm just going to wipe off until my blue is all gone. I can wipe it right off my craft mat. Say goodbye, blue. And now I could dip into my purple. Might want to use the smaller one for this. Maybe I'll take the smaller brush. Because my raindrop is kind of small. Kind of small. I could take my purple. And just do cute raindrops. And just move it all over and fill up my space. So I'm having a nice little spring storm. It's just very simple, very easy. And of course, they gave you raindrops in 2 sizes. So I've got tiny little itty bitty raindrops. And I'm gonna wipe off and get rid of my purple. And I'm gonna go into my really dark blue. I should have covered up my little holes, but I'm gonna try and be really careful. And add some dark blue raindrops. And those cute cards that you see made by so many different designers, how they get their background, look at how easy it is. Cute little raindrops with my clouds. But that's not all it does. Then you've got the hill tool. I'm gonna wipe my stencil off, and because it's metal, it just wipes right off. I'm gonna leave my Stacey tape there because I'm gonna use the hill tool. And the hill tool is right here. So I've used the clouds, I've used the raindrops, I'm gonna use the hill tool, and then all of these little great pieces here, that's to be able to go in and mask something. So if you needed to do, does that look like a leaf, and you needed to do the vine of a leaf? You can do that. So if I had, boy, I needed a, if you had a leaf and you wanted to add, I just drew a leaf, and you wanted to add Just a little bit of dimension to it. Get all my blue off. Go in there with my green. Put my green down. And I could start adding dimension to my leaf. There is just so much to be done. But I was going to use the hill tool. So let me go back and let me do that. And let me cover up that one little piece that I just don't want anything on. Now I'm going to use the hill tool. So here's my hill tool right there. And I'm going to hold it down. And I'm going to start with my lightest color green. And I'm going to work away. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to work down. So for the hills, I'm going to work down. So I'm going to start here. Slide it on over. Slide it on over. And I created my first hill. But we want hills, so I'm going to lift it up higher so that there's space between, so that I leave a little bit of white. Why do I want to leave the white? Because I want it to seem like the hills are there. And I'm gonna maybe start there and bring it down. And then slide it over and just keep stenciling. So I keep going with my hills. But maybe now I want to use the darker green. I can go with the darker green right on top of my lighter green. Just keep going. Now I've got a darker green hill on top of a lighter green hill, and I could move up here and do some really dark green hills. Slide it on down. Now I've got a really green hill. Kind of blend it in, blend it out, and you've made hills. This tool is really very cool. It really is. And there's so much to be done with it. If you just give yourself the opportunity with some plain paper to get in there and to try. You'd be amazed at all of the different things. And you know what's super cool is that Stampendous put together a little cheat sheet. So to show you how to do, shows you the vines and the shading. It shows you the raindrops. It shows you the doodling that you can do with it. It shows you the hills. It shows you the clouds. It shows you all the different things that work with the Picasso tool and what the different pieces are. And they're gonna give this to you. This is unprecedented. They've never done this for anybody else. But when you buy the tool, when we sell it, we're gonna include the little cheat sheet so that you can go back and you can refer to it. Because I know there's so many stinking cute cards out there and cute layouts, and they've got that, where did they get those clouds from? I sat there. Where did they get the clouds from? How did they make those clouds? Are they airbrushing them? How are they getting that done? And it was the Picasso tool. And it was like, oh, oh my gosh. And then my next question was, well, how much is it? And when they said, no, it's $7.50, I said, oh my gosh, because when I looked at this tool, I said, what is that? It piqued my curiosity because I'm a technique junkie. But I'm like, how do people know how to use this? Do they even understand it? Because it's made by Dreamweaver, which Stampendous owns. But when you're looking at it in a store, maybe your retail store has this and you've looked at it, but you have no clue what it is to do. Well, my Stacey tape holds really well, just in case you needed to know. No clue what to do with it. Lots to do with it. And like I said, if I had drawn a flower and I wanted that flower center to be a very specific color, perhaps not green, perhaps I wanted that to be magenta. Perfect circle. What if I had done a flower and I wanted this to be glittered or heat embossed, but I didn't want to get the embossing all over everything. I didn't know how to do it. That's fine. Put this in, put this down, put your stempel brush into your Versamark, get it on there, throw your embossing powder down, and bam. What if I wanted to add the glue so I could use foils? Easy. It gives you the opportunity. And I just love the hills, and I love the clouds, and I love the raindrops, and I love the veins. I think that if you are doing projects and you need that extra little something as background and you don't have it, this gives it to you, and in a way that is easy to understand, and you can be successful with it each and every time. You can just be successful with it. I could do clouds all day long. I won't, but I could because then I could get into the little purple ones and have just really, I didn't cover anything up, just really soft, so pretty. And start building my clouds. And I could just keep going. I mean, I could play with it all day long just to make stuff that is so cute. This is the Picasso tool. It's by Dreamweaver. So it is a metal stencil, but it's sold by Stampendous, who owns Dreamweaver. And yes, it is on a YouTube Yummy. I want to show you some samples. And the Splendor is also on a YouTube Yummy. And I think you see how easy it is to go from one color to the next and just clean your brush and move on. Move on, let it go. And if your brush stains whatever color it stains, that's okay. No biggie. Just let it go and move on to your next color. And then when you're all done, you just wipe it right up off your mat. So I want to show you some of the samples with the Picasso tool because they really are magnificent. So this was me playing earlier with hills and clouds. That's just playing earlier. And then look at how cute is that? See, Picasso tool did all the clouds in the background. Picasso tool. And then the one I showed you earlier, clouds all done with the Picasso tool. And then look at how cute is this. Can you see the clouds? Done with the Picasso tool. And the Splendor ink. All these were done with the Picasso and Splendor ink. Look at little house mouse sitting on a bed of clouds. Look at how beautiful. The water was done with the same ink. Just brushed it down. Look at how beautiful is that. Done with the Picasso tool, all of this. And behind the flag, and then another cute little house mouse. Can you see how light you can get your color? It all just depends upon your touch. It all just depends upon your touch. And look at the raindrops. And we even did some of it with doodling on the weird edges. Just traced it and went in and doodled. Zentangled. So that is using the Picasso tool. And like I mentioned, you're going to get the cheat sheet to help you. So you can store this and keep it. And that way, when you say, oh my gosh, I need to make hills, and you could do your own little stitching across your hills and make your hills so cute. Or I need to do some veins and some leaves, or I need to do some shading, or I want clouds for a background. You've got it. You don't have to go look for just the right paper. You don't have to go look for just the right stencil. You already have it. And then, like I had mentioned, they came out with several different sets of dies and stamps. Stampendous did. This is lilac. Comes with the dies and the stamps. It's $31.98 for both of them, and then 25% off. I want to say it comes down to $23 for both. The whole set, 23 bucks. I want to show you some of the samples they made. Is that not yummy? The background was done with their Build-A-Wreath, actually. And then Stacey tape and some of their shaved ice over the top of it. Same thing. This was cut with their Build-A-Wreath and with Stacey tape. And there's no heat on this. This is just using glitter and mica flakes. And the lilac set. Here we have a pop-up. Now the vase is from the sunflower set. How beautiful is that? And again, you can watercolor all of this. And the beauty of the lilacs is that you just blend all the color. You don't have to be specific in each and every petal of the flower. You put a little color over here, a little color over there, a little color over there, and then blend. Look at this one. How beautiful is that? There we go. How pretty. And very easy. Another one. All done with that set for $23. Watercolor pencils, and you are good to go. This one we've left blank just in case, so somebody could put a sentiment there. This is the lilac set. Oh my goodness, they've sent just the most beautiful samples. Fran did this. Is that gorgeous? That's the kind of talent she has. Is that amazing? Fran did that. So I wanted to show you some of the new product from Stampendous, including the Picasso tool, which has been around for quite some time. The other set that they brought out, this is actually the one they're using downstairs right now. Isn't that cute? You get the penguin, you get They're just darling. The little owl guy. There's one with a snowman. Oh no, that's got it. It's got it all. He's got the owl, the penguin, and the snowman all in the same set. And then you have the dies to coordinate. All in the same set. And what's really cute is that the little pieces can pop out. They're so darling. I want to show you the sample board to this one. Isn't he cute? And he's all popped up and his little arms are die cut out with the dies that come with it, and very little coloring because snowmen just need a little bit of blue and penguins just need a little bit of black. So this is the one they're actually doing downstairs. They're playing with this set, and then we're playing with shaved ice for snow, and they're using watercolor pencils. But this set is called, drumroll please, Winter Friends. It's the Winter Friends stamp and die cut. And we have them bundled together so you get both the stamp and the die cut for like $23, $24, $23.96 maybe. All right. So remember what we started with, which I'm not even sure I can go back and find anymore. We started with the sunflower. And just watercoloring the sunflower and using very simple watercolor pencils to create very, very, very pretty things. And then we moved on to the Picasso tool, which if you were looking at this in a store, you would say what I said, huh? Although they named it very accurately, which lets you do fun little backgrounds to whatever you need. That's the Picasso tool. And then the lilac set, which allows you to just do very, very, very pretty stamped images, and then you just die cut it right out. It absolutely has the coordinating dies. Yep, sure does. And we ended with the cute little snowman and penguin. And so that is what is new from Stampendous. And this is our 11th anniversary sale. And you'll find all of these goodies in the YouTube Yummy. You'll find all the rest of the Stampendous on sale for 25% off. You'll find doorbusters, hopefully they're still there. You'll find doorbusters that are an unbelievable value that you won't find anywhere else. And where will you find it all? Scrapbookingmadesimple.com, or come visit us. There's still time. We're open till 6 today on Saturday for our anniversary sale. And don't forget to post your comment, because this is the best opportunity to win a prize. We're going to give 100 prizes away. So if you post here on YouTube and on Facebook, your name goes in twice, so you have double the chance of having your name drawn. If you just post on Facebook, that's okay. And if you just post on YouTube, that's okay. But you can post on both. We'll pull 100 names from both lists, and you're gonna win some wonderful free goodies. Yay! And it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple. I got through, I did it, and I sure do miss you, Dad. So I will see all of you next Saturday for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 172. Bye, guys. Happy anniversary.